It just feels so frustrating to play a deck that loses to Nib. I mean, it doesn't even matter what you do. Your opponent will nuke your field end of main. If that applies to your deck, I can only say sucks to suck, because we Yubel players, we don't have that problem. Welcome to another episode of the Yubel Academy. This is a video series where I go over different situations and cards and what you can do against those situations and cards with Yubel. So if you want to learn Yubel or how to play against it better, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any future episodes. Today's video is focused around the evil big rock Nibiru. Without Phantom of Yubel, only Legacy of Destruction support. Compared to Droll, Nibiru is in my opinion way easier to handle for the Yubel deck, even without Phantom of Yubel. I will show you different ways how to beat Nibiru because we have quite a few, but I want to start with the 2-card Major Chronicle combo just because I want to show you why I like that card so much. So for that you need a 1-card starter and either access to Nightmare Pain or Major Chronicle. But I would say let's stop the yelping and let me show you what you can do. Like always, we start by activating Nightmare Throne, adding us 1 Samsara. I think I have seen Samsara in the past few days more often than any other person I see in real life. So there's that. We normally summon Lotus, activate his effect, to special 1 Spirit. Because we have Nightmare Pain in hand, we can actually set with Spirit's effect Major Chronicle. If you have Major Chronicle in hand, just set Nightmare Pain with her effect. After activating Major Chronicle, we activate Nightmare Pain and the effect to pop the Spirit, adding ourselves 1 Infernal Grave, Spirit Chainlink 1 and Field Spell Chainlink 2 to get more Yubel forms in rotation and bodies to extend. The Field Spell will get us Terra Incarnate and Spirit will of course float into the OG Yubel. And now we activate Infernal's effect to special summon him. There are 2 moments where our opponent could nip us, of course immediately after we summon 5 times, and I will include that because I think especially in the beginning when most people don't know what Yubel does, they will just nip immediately after the 5th summon and hope that's enough. Which he will do now. Everything goes to the graveyard, your opponent is likely happy about that. Major Chronicle is a good card that gets a counter on it each time a Yubel monster or a card that mentions it is special summoned to the field. Yes, field, it doesn't have to be your side, so don't forget to put counters on it in the mirror match. And depending on how much counters it has different effects. Especially in the case where you have to play through Nibiru or Droll or any kind of interruptions, the first one is the most important one, because you can remove 1 counter from it to special summon 1 Yubel from your graveyard. Important, this card has to reborn the OG Yubel. Eternal Favorite can reborn any Yubel form, but Major Chronicle is different. In short, we have the Major Chronicle revive and the Infernal Grave still in the graveyard. We will utilize both. We will activate Major Chronicle to reborn the OG Yubel. With Infernal Grave it doesn't really matter what you reborn, you can pick whatever. Then we will link both monsters into Yama. Yama will add us 1 Best Doggy, Shavara. With Yama and the Nip token we will link into Anguish. And with Anguish we use the opponent's Nip to link into, surprise, the Muckraker. With Muckraker you discard any blank card, it can be anything, especially if you start you have 5 cards in hand, so it's highly likely that you can discard anything, it doesn't have to be a specific card. And you reborn, really important, not to link 3, you reborn Spirit. Yama Chainlink 1 and Spirit Chainlink 2. Spirit will of course get us the OG Yubel, and Yama will reborn the link 3. Now we link off Shavara and Anguish into Nightmare Griffin. We activate Shavara's effect to set us 1 Chamber. Just like that we have a pretty good endboard through Nip. Especially against Tempai Dragons, this endboard is devastating because they can play through Nightmare Griffin. We have Muckraker, which on her own is basically grind game. We have the Nightmare Griffin, the lock, and we have Chamber for grind game or if you want to reborn anything. And you may realize Yubel is still on the field, but why exactly is that? Well, since Nightmare Griffin is on the field, monsters that are not linked can't activate their effects, and that goes for Yubel's effect to keep her on the field. So you don't have to tribute anything. That doesn't mean that we can't utilize the Yubel engine at all. If I go to the end phase, something wants to trigger in the end phase, and it's Samsara to special summon himself. That's very strong because if you put it next to Nightmare Griffin, it's linked and you can activate its effect to change 1 monster effect your opponent activates to destroy 1 Yubel on the field. It's basically 1 additional interruption. Before I go over to the second moment where your opponent can nip you, I want to show you something different you can do after you summon Muckraker, and depending on the matchup, it might even be stronger than leaving Yubel on the field. Of course we still activate Muckraker to reborn the Spirit. The discard is still the same, it can be any card, and we reborn the Spirit. Now we activate Shavara, same as before, to pop the Spirit, Yama chainlink 1, Spirit chainlink 2. Spirit gets the OG Yubel on the field and Yama will now again resummon the Link 3. Now it's really important though that you do not summon the Link 3 into the Link zone Muckraker points to. Just put it to the left or to the right. Instead of leaving Yubel on the field now, we can first link Shavara and Yubel into Rage. We activate Shavara's effect to set us one chamber. And now we still go into the Griffin by linking away the Rage and Anguish. So we basically achieve the same endboard, but now we have Chamber to reborn the Rage. And Rage can then go into SP. SP has 2 banish effects, so depending on the matchup, that might even be way stronger than leaving Yubel on the field. Let's say your opponent doesn't nip you here because they know about Infernal, they know about Major Chronicle, they just want to wait a little bit. Now we will continue the combo by linking away Terror Incarnate and Infernal into Yama. Yama will add Best Doggy and now we activate Infernal Grave to reborn the Spirit. It's highly likely that your opponent will nip you here, especially if they know about Valdreth, because you in theory could make Valdreth now, or you threaten Appaloosa. So if your opponent doesn't nip you here, he first off has giant balls, but second off he will get punished for that immediately. Because if he doesn't nip you here, we just go into Appaloosa by linking away everything. Just like that, every monster hand trap they have is rendered useless and you can play further without fearing anything. We activate Major Chronicle now to reborn the OG Yubel. By activating Shavara we pop the OG Yubel to special summon him, then we activate both the OG Yubel and Yama to basically get way more bodies to the field. Yama will reborn the OG Yubel again and of course the OG Yubel will get Terror Incarnate back to the field. We link away Shavara and Terror Incarnate into Rage. We activate Shavara to set us one chamber. And now we go to the end phase and Samsara in the graveyard will reborn itself. After Samsara's on the field we have to activate Yubel's effect to keep her on the field and we will do that by tributing the Rage. Just like that we have a very strong endboard. We have Appaloosa, we have Yubel with Samsara, so basically a monster negate, and whenever we feel like it we can reborn with Chamber the Rage. It's pretty hard to beat that. Like I said, that was just for the rare case where they don't nip you here. Most likely, if they know a little bit about Yubel and the new rank 10 and Appaloosa, they will just say, okay, stop right here, I will nip you. And he will do that now again. From here on it's pretty similar than before. We activate Major Chronicle to reborn the OG Yubel. After that we activate Shavara to pop the OG Yubel. Chainlink 1 is Yama, Chainlink 2 is OG Yubel to get Terror Incarnate back to the field. And Yama will reborn, and Yama reborns the Yubel. We link Shavara and Yubel into Rage. We activate Shavara's effect to set us one chamber again. Now we go into Anguish by linking away the token and Rage. With Anguish we will then again use the opponent's nip to go into Muckraker. We activate Muckraker's effect to reborn the Link 3 by discarding any blank card, which basically gives us immediate Nightmare Griffin access now. Something is different though, that is not just the Nightmare Griffin. If you have paid attention, we still have Rage in the graveyard and Chamber set. So this is basically again the Nightmare Griffin lock combined with Rage, basically SP. Really great through Nibiru. If you open Dark Beckoning Beast in combination with Nightmare Throne, we can do something very funny. First off, we begin by normal summoning Beckoning Beast, activating his effect to add ourselves one opening. Then we activate opening to add one additional Dark Beckoning Beast. Instead of now activating Nightmare Throne to additional normal the Samsara, we just normal the second Beckoning Beast. And now something funny happens. We overlay both Dark Beckoning Beasts into Djinn Buster. So basically before we have committed into any Yubel engine, we have protection. Don't forget that Nightmare Throne, instead of adding your one monster, can also destroy one monster, and in combination with opening, which can reborn a fiend monster with 0 attack, can be really devastating for our opponent. Let me show you. We activate Nightmare Throne to pop one Spirit out of the deck. Destroy it, not add it. Spirit's effect will special summon the OG Yubel, and now with opening, you just need to have any blank discard again. We can reborn the Spirit, and Spirit's effect will activate to set us one Nightmare Pain. Now if your opponent activates Nip, you just negate that. It's that simple. And now Nightmare Pain will be set to the field. And from here on you basically have full combo. The Dark Beckoning Beast engine is really good against Nibiru, especially in combination with Nightmare Throne. It's really insane. I just wanted to show that because I think it's funny that we can utilize Djinn Buster. What happens if you only open one Samsara and nothing else and your opponent now nips you here? Sadly, without Phantom of Yubel against the one card combo, if you only open one card to play, which is highly unlikely, but if you only do that, Nibiru is very strong, because now we only have Infernal left to reborn the OG Yubel and in the end phase to get Samsara back by tributing the token, which isn't that strong, but if you didn't open any other way to play, the chance is highly likely that you at least have hand traps in addition to that endboard, so it can be okay. So we special summon Samsara and with Yubel we tribute the token. As you saw previously in the video, the chance of that happening right here is highly unlikely. Any extender beats Nibiru. Even if you open Dark Beckoning Beast, you can open Infernal Grave that can help. You can open Major Chronicle, Nightmare Pain, Shavara beats Nibiru too. So it's really unlikely that that happens. Still, if you are that unlucky and you only open the one card combo and your opponent has Nib, it's really difficult to play through that. The most you can do is basically that, which is sadly the case without Phantom of Yubel. Again, that's highly unlikely. Literally anything, almost anything you see here beats Nibiru if you open it additionally. So I don't think we have to worry too much about Nib. I'm really thankful for that. I mean, what can I say? Yubel, best deck. See ya.